Oh God, this is terrifying as Hey everyone, I'm Abbey Sharp. Welcome to Abby's Kitchen. In today's episode, we will be looking into the diet of Euphoria It Girl Alexa Demie. But first, let me tell you about my sponsor, Caesar. So my dog Poppy is like family, so obviously we want to feed her the best food that we can. She loves Caesar Wholesome Bowls and Simply Crafted wet dog food because they've been crafted with gourmet, culinarily inspired ingredients that pet parents like us can see and trust. Real meat is the first ingredient, plus wholesome fresh vegetables, so my little fur baby can get in on family meals similar to what I've been feeding my human kids. Wholesome bowls contain no artificial flavors, colors, fillers, or preservatives, and Simply Crafted is the perfect topper with less than 6 ingredients. Poppy races to her bowl when she knows that it's mealtime, and she inhales her food faster than I've ever seen before. Wet dog food is particularly also great for these really hot summer months when they need that extra hydration. So I recently partnered with Caesar to develop a pet parent recipe inspired by the gourmet ingredients in Wholesome Bowls and Simply Crafted, and now I can enjoy a yours and theirs shared mealtime experience with Poppy, and you can too. So check out my recipe and sign up to receive a bestie box with a free sample of Caesar Wholesome Bowls or Simply Crafted by visiting caesarbestiebowls.ca. And of course, you can pause the screen or look at the description to check out my general disclaimer, including a trigger warning to those with current or previous experiences with disordered eating. We will be discussing a pretty extreme crash diet, so please skip this video if it's not supportive to your journey. And if you are not already subscribed, hit that sub button and follow me over on TikTok and Instagram at Abby's Kitchen. So if you are not familiar with Alexa Demie, I'm not sure what you've been doing all pandemic, but I have been binge watching Euphoria on repeat. So Alexa plays the fiery Maddie and is known for her character's makeup, hair, clothes, and by association, her body. And YouTuber Bianca Monvoy tried her diet for 5 days. So let's take a look at how she did.
On today's video, we are going to be putting ourselves through sufferance for an entire week to try the one and only Alexa Demie's hardcore diet while taking her popular hardcore classes.
I think we know where this is going, but let's take a look at what she eats in a week.
We've seen her body look amazing in all of her wardrobe outfits in Euphoria. So her stomach is super flat, and I just want to know if this actually works.
Ah, yes. The allure of the flat stomach. The unicorn that every woman online seems to chase. I want to just remind everyone that washboard abs is not a healthy goal for most women. Ab definition doesn't generally happen above 20% body fat, which also happens to be around the body fat percentage associated with reproductive and hormonal imbalance. Not to mention, it's very normal for your stomach shape and size to change throughout the course of the day as you put food and drink inside it. So please, can we stop pathologizing non-flat stomachs?
For the second disclaimer, this might not work for all of us. We can really all be eating the same thing, and I might be losing weight slower than other people who are trying the same exact thing, and that's because all of our bodies are very, very different. So really pay attention to your body. If you are trying to diet, don't just rely on that diet. Make sure whatever you're trying, you are also taking notes of how did it make you feel? Did it make you bloat?
Yes to listening to your body, yes to asking yourself, how did that make you feel? But did the diet make me bloat really the most important question on whether or not you should continue a crash diet?
Probably no.
Can we add disclaimer number 3 in here that you shouldn't copy a celebrity's diet plan? FYI, a lot of the Euphoria co-stars have allegedly had to manipulate their diet to meet the aesthetic of the show. And some have allegedly struggled with disordered eating patterns in the past as well. So please, let's not jump on that bandwagon so fast.
I'm going to be measuring my waist and my stomach and my lower belly just to see if my stomach can change in just 1 week.
So I wouldn't put too much stock in a week's worth of measurements. Most physique coaches will recommend measuring yourself every 2 weeks or so, and ideally a few days worth of numbers just to compare, because it's normal for women's waist circumference to fluctuate significantly within and between days. So if there were any significant changes in that 1 week alone, it would probably be likely from dehydration and physical lack of food in the gut.
So for breakfast, we're gonna be having 2 poached eggs, 1 avocado, and green juice.
So this is a good start. We've got some high quality protein in the eggs, some healthy monounsaturated fat and fiber in the avocado, and some micronutrients in the juice. But earlier in this video, Bianca said that Alexa would start her day with 40 minutes of cardio, followed by a killer ab routine. So if this were to be a post-workout meal, this would very likely not be nearly enough. We're looking at just 14 grams of protein and an insignificant amount of carbs when we ideally want to see 0.25 to 0.4 grams per kilogram of protein every 3 to 4 hours, plus a 1 to 3 to 4 ratio of protein to carbs post-workout. And that's in order to help maximize recovery and muscle growth. So yeah, now I'm understanding why Bianca affectionately described this as a week of suffering.
As her evening snack, she likes having fruit. So we're gonna have some fruit. Look at my plate of fruit. I feel like naturally fruit never really fills me up.
So Bianca is kind of following this meal plan in her own order, which I am not going to police because nothing makes sense about these nonsensical bad diets anyway.
I mean, nothing they do makes any sense.
I'm just glad that we got some energizing carbs in this snack. Now, more interesting to me is that we started off this video calling the diet a compilation of no carb recipes, but this plate is low-key just carbs. And I love fruit, but it's not surprising that it's not the most satiating choice all on its own. So to turn it into a hunger-crushing combo, you could pair the apple with some nut butter or some full-fat Greek yogurt for dipping.
So I forgot to mention that instead of doing the 40 minutes of cardio every day, we are going to be doing an hour-long class of hot yoga.
I almost passed out this time, but last time, the first time I ever came, I saw black everything.
Okay. First of all, I guess Bianca's just gonna do this routine her way in her order of choice, and I respect that because there is no point in torturing yourself more than you need to for YouTube views.
Oh my God, a tortured artist. I love that.
But also, it is never okay to almost pass out from your activity. Basically, what's happening here is that her blood pressure is likely dropping as her blood vessels dilate in the heat. So the best advice to combat this is to make sure that you are well hydrated. Ideally, we want to replace what we've lost in sweat. So we can assume that 1 kilogram of weight lost during exercise can be replaced by 1 to 1.5 liters of water. Eating regular meals throughout the rest of the day will also help to replace any salt loss. But if you are finding that you're like a salty sweater, you can also add a pinch of extra salt to your water and your meals, or consider an electrolyte supplement.
I honestly didn't get to eat lunch.
Protein shake made me bloat so bad. You're not gonna be seeing me drink this again in my video or ever again.
If you are the type to just forget to eat, please do your body a favor and plan ahead and have some grab and go snacks that you can just pop in your bag and take wherever you're going. Things like packaged nuts, seeds, fruit, protein bars, or jerky are all really great grab and go options. Second, considering that we just skipped lunch and like straight up protein and milk is not an adequate replacement for a meal, I would absolutely want to see some fiber and more carbs in there for post-workout recovery, and also a little bit of fat as well, just to bump up the satiety factor. Third, she mentioned bloating badly from the shake, and I want to discuss a few reasons why that might be. So this brand of protein powder, Ghost, is sweetened with sucralose, aka Splenda, which some folks may find to trigger gas and bloating. Another very likely contributor though is that she let herself get so ravenously hungry, she just gulped it down, and that extra air while chugging actually can cause more bloating and indigestion.
Here's the dinner. A lot of veggies and protein.
Oh my God, this is bloody torture. And she's not doing her bloated belly any favors with her choice in veg. So green bell peppers, broccoli, and onions are all high FODMAP options, which can cause serious gas and bloating for sensitive folks. So if you are sensitive to some FODMAPs, easier on the gut options include red bell peppers, zucchini, carrots, and fennel. Also, I get that it doesn't fit the no carb lifestyle she's trying to emulate, but adding a source of carbs to this meal can also often buffer some of the irritating effects of FODMAPs on the gut.
Am I full? Yes. But am I dissatisfied because of the lack of the carbs on my plate? Yes. But I think it's just a mind over matter thing.
Yikes, that's a red flag. This is the difference between satisfaction and satiety. Both are equally important when feeding yourself. Fullness alone is not sustainable and is typically a recipe for a binge.
I already ate some fruit and nuts just because I felt faint.
Again, red flag. An empty stomach is like our first sign of normal biological hunger. By the time we're feeling faint, our blood sugar levels have likely dropped pretty low. Now, usually in a healthy person without diabetes, your body will have defense mechanisms against this, but some people are very sensitive to these changes and will feel hypoglycemia-like symptoms like feeling lightheadedness or dizzy, even if they're not below the clinical threshold.
So I finished my lunch.
I'm sorry, that was lunch?
What? Oh, no!
Oh my gosh, this is hella triggering. This is bringing me back to my oil-phobic days when I would eat vegetables for lunch with like fat-free vinaigrette. I'm not even sure where to start. This lunch has an insignificant 88 calories and no protein or fat to be seen.
Is that all?
I would absolutely want to see some chicken, tofu, or egg on top, along with some oil, avocado, nuts, or seeds for healthy fats.
I cracked last night. I ate a Vietnamese sandwich which has bread and you're not supposed to have any carbs.
So I want to empathize with Bianca here and point out that she didn't crack or fail. This diet is borderline starvation. Let's give our body some credit for fighting to keep us in a healthy state. Interestingly, despite the remorse, she actually looks happier in this clip than any of the other previous clips, probably because that carb boost helped to increase the brain's serotonin levels, producing a calming effect. She may also be getting some relief from the keto flu, which are the symptoms that a person starting a very low carb diet can expect to experience. When you drastically lower your carb intake, your body needs to adapt to using ketones as its energy source, and that transition often makes you feel like oh gosh, not the celery juice.
Juicy, juicy, juice, 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 juice. I love you more than anyone.
Well, I guess we're at least getting some fiber and carbs in the day with the smoothie. But again, if she has a sensitive stomach, the celery is also a very high FODMAP choice.
I think I'm burning out. My stomach has never been this sore. It's so sore and I'm getting cramps. They're not period cramps. I don't know what's going on, but my body is just telling me stop.
I am, unfortunately, not at all surprised. There are a few reasons here why she's probably feeling like First of all, it sounds to me like she's suffering from overreaching. So overreaching is extreme muscle soreness experienced when the body isn't given the time it needs to recover between training sessions. This isn't super painful, but it can literally run you down, and over time, it can result in overtraining. Secondly, if she does have IBS, she is definitely hitting those FODMAPs super hard. So while the sauteed veggies and celery smoothie are all considered healthy foods, they're all rich in these fermentable carbohydrates, and when you fill that FODMAP bucket too full, you're likely to feel bloated and gassy as Finally, she's grossly under eating. When your stomach is empty, or when your body is anticipating your next meal, your hunger hormone ghrelin is released. So ghrelin tells your stomach to produce more stomach acid and also to move more. So if you don't eat, the combination of the extra acid and all that movement causes those grumbles and stomach pains. Also, as I discussed in my video right here, an empty belly is a gassy belly. So for a lot of other reasons, chronic undereating can cause or exacerbate digestive distress. Yes. All right, definitely relieved that we got a little fat this time and some chicken on top. It's still probably not very satiating because it's pretty low calorie and it's low carb, but certainly a huge step up from her day 2 greens. Fruit and nut butter is a great hunger crushing combo snack. Now, based on her outline of Alexa's diet at the start of this video, it's clear that Bianca is taking some creative liberties, and thank goodness for that. At least we're getting a little carbs in there to complement that monotonous avocado, egg, and celery smoothie breakfast that I just could not ever accept was my life.
And also, guys, I just want to mention that whenever I'm hungry, I eat a fruit.
Great! We love to hear that because our body thrives on carbs. But I just want to point out the health halo that fruit has in some of these carb-hating circles, while grains are demonized and restricted. Folks, they're all carbs. In fact, if we want to be nitpicky, a lot of the whole grains are actually higher in fiber or lower on the glycemic index when compared to some fruits. So for example, a serving of bulgur wheat has 4.1 grams of fiber and has a glycemic index of 48 compared to that thick slice of pineapple that she added to her salad, which only has 2.3 grams of fiber and has a glycemic index of 66. See, there is room for any and all carbs on the plate.
Wait, I forgot to add the chicken. Now that looks better.
I feel like a broken record, but this is just not enough. It's one thing to cut out carbs and transition to a keto diet where 70 to 80% of your total calories would come from fats, but it is quite another to cut out carbs, not replace them with anything, and then wind up having 300 calorie meals. When we looked at this average day as a whole, it was clocking in at 1,350 calories. What the actual
Honestly, yoga really made me detox. Mentally, I am more prepared to eat less carbs. Like I said throughout the video, I always thought I had to eat a lot of carbs to stay full and happy, but I don't. I was really enjoying the veggies. It just really made me realize that I can do it.
Does anyone else not feel convinced? The girl didn't look very happy, and she admitted to caving to eating a sandwich or a piece of fruit or just skipping a meal if it wasn't convenient for her. This is clearly not a sustainable diet, and it's disappointing to see this challenge positioned as something to be proud of completing. Can we stop glamorizing torturous starvation regimens?
How painful is painful?
And could any result possibly be worth the agony here? Well, let's find out.
25 inches.
So my waist remained 25 inches, but I lost half an inch off my lower belly, which I'm so proud of, but I'm still very happy with the result.
I hate to burst her weight loss high, but it's very unlikely that she would have lost any significant amount of actual fat in 5 days. So her measurement differences can be explained by probably two main things. First is a loss of water weight from the significant drop in carbs. When you eat carbs, they get stored as glycogen in the liver and muscles. Now, glycogen holds onto water, about 1 gram of carbs to 3 grams of H2O. So when you drain your glycogen stores, you lose a lot of water along with it. Second, she's consuming a small volume of food, so her stomach is literally empty. When you eat and drink, your stomach will expand and contract throughout the day as it processes your meals and drinks. These fluctuations don't represent increasing or decreasing fat levels, but really just gas, food, and fluid movement. If she resumes eating carbs after this challenge, her body will store some of the carbs as glycogen along with its respective water weight, and she'll gain the inches and weight right back. So to wrap this up, I think we can all agree that this is not good.
Yep. Yes.
As much as I am obsessed with Euphoria as a show, I do think in a lot of ways its aesthetic perpetuates and glamorizes a very problematic body ideal. And the fact that this young content creator emulated this extreme crash diet and then patted herself on the back for her results and for sticking to it for like 5 days just further confirms this problematic trend. And I'm not criticizing Bianca. I mean, diet culture is so pervasive, it is impossible to escape. But when you see content like this, I hope my commentary can remind you to scroll on by. And on that note, that is all that I have for you guys today. If you like this video, be sure to give it the thumbs up, leave me a comment below on who or what you'd like to see me review next, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time on Abby's Kitchen. Bye!